Saral Japani, Japanese learning made easy. Konnichiwa minasan. Hey friends, how are you? Welcome to Saral Japan YouTube channel. This is a place where we talk about Japan and Japanese. This is the series called Elementary Japanese, a crash course for JLPT N5 and N4 levels. This is the 10th lecture of this series, and in this series we are referencing the popular Japanese textbook written by Yoko Hasegawa, and the book is called Elementary Japanese Volume 1. We are at lesson 3, places, these days, and today is the part 2 of this lesson, in which we are going to talk about the listed grammatical topics: something, anything, someone, anyone, somewhere, anywhere, and the two Japanese particles to and yo. This is the front page of the book Elementary Japanese Volume 1 by Yoko Hasegawa, PhD, and his team. And this is the content of lesson 3, which deals with places. That means how to represent places or how to talk about places in sentences. The blue box indicates the grammar portion of this chapter, which we are currently going through. And in the previous lecture 9, we discussed about the first 3 sections: existential verbs, topic marker wa, and location marker. In today's lesson, we shall cover section 3D, 3E, 3F, and some part of 3G. So let's move forward in today's lesson. So we start with something, anything, someone, anyone. Now, in the last lessons, we have discussed about nani, dare, donata, doko. Do you remember that? So nani means what, dare means who, donata means who in a respectful manner, and doko means where. Now we are going to extend these concepts to give the meanings of something, someone, anything, anyone, and somewhere, anywhere. So let's see how it is done. When you add ka at the end of nani, which is what, so what becomes something. What thing? Something. So that's why nani is what, nanika is something. And similarly, nani mo, in place of ka, if you write nani mo, then it becomes anything. We will come into this part, affirmative and negative, in a moment. Before that, just understand the meaning of these words. So nani is what, nanika is something, and nanimo is anything. Similarly, dare is who, dareka is someone, and daremo is anyone. Donata is also who in a respectful manner. Donataka is someone, respectful manner, and donatamo is anyone, in a respectful manner. Now, the rule in Japanese for using this mo thing, nanimo, daremo, donatamo, and dokonimo, these do not follow the principle as in English grammar. So with these words can be used only in a negative sentence, only if the predicate is in a negative. That means the verb is a negative form verb. That means when we write the full sentence, then nanimo, that is anything, will change into nothing because the predicate is negative. So anything's negative is nothing. Similarly, daremo, anyone, will become no one when we use daremo in a sentence with negative predicate. And similarly, donatamo, anyone, will become no one when we use donatamo with negative predicate. Now you might have the question that what happens if we use nanimo with a affirmative predicate, that is positive predicate? Then in Japanese grammar, that would not make any sense. In English grammar, it will make sense. For example, if we want to write anyone is welcome, that we can write in English. In Japanese, We can also write anyone is welcome, but not in this structure. This structure will not allow that. And to write anyone is welcome, there will be a different kind of construction which we will see later in the course. That is a bit complicated, so it's not for the beginner level course at the stage at which we are at now. So for now, just remember that in such structure, nanimo, daremo, donatamo, and dokonimo, these can be used only with a negative verb in this sentence. These always go with a negative verb. So essentially, anything will become nothing, anyone will become no one, and anyone respectful will become no one. We will come to dokonimo and doko dokokani, that we will come later, because these are little bit different from the first three. So this is the rule for nanika, dareka, donataka, and nanimo, daremo, and donatamo. With nanika, dareka, and donataka, the use of ga is optional. That means in this sentence, if there is a ga following that is okay to use. You may or may not write. But with nanimo, daremo, and donatamo, ga must not be used. The ga particle must not be used in sentences. So what does this sentence mean? We will see with examples in the next slide. The first example, as you can see here, is there something on the bed? So something means nanika. So the Japanese version will be beddo no ue ni. Beddo no ue ni nanika ga arimasu ka? So you can see here ga is written in brackets. That means it is optional. You may or may not write that. So you can also say beddo no ue ni nanika arimasu ka? So that is also correct. So after an interrogatory, so this is, although there is ka, so nanika itself is does not mean any interrogation, because this means only something. Is there something on the bed? Beddo no ue ni nanika ga arimasu ka? Beddo no ue ni nanika arimasu ka? Now the answer, look at the answer. Hai, beddo no ue ni tegami ga arimasu. So here ga is mandatory, because here there is no nanika. Here it is the answer tegami. That means letter. Tegami means letter. Yes, there is a letter on the bed. Hai, beddo no ue ni tegami ga arimasu. So in the last lesson we had discussed about ue, which means on the, so on the bed. Beddo no ue means on the top of the bed, on the bed. So the question is there something on the bed? Beddo no ue ni nanika ga arimasu ka? Hai, beddo no ue ni tegami ga arimasu. And if the answer is in negative, that means no, there is nothing on the bed. Then how do we say that? Ie, beddo no ue ni nani mo arimasen. So because we had discussed here that with nanimo, if we add the negative predicate, then it will become nothing, because nanimo is anything, and with the negative verb it becomes nothing. So if we want to say there is nothing, then we will say nanimo arimasen. Just forget about the bed and the letter. Just talk, let's say there is nothing. There is nothing. In Japanese we say it nanimo arimasen. And no, there is nothing, there isn't anything on the bed. So see here, in the literal sense in Japanese, when we say like that, then the literal meaning is there is not anything on the bed. So anything is nanimo and not anything is nanimo arimasen. So that's why the verb goes in the negative form. To negate anything, to make it the opposite of anything, which is nothing. So essentially the meaning is there is nothing on the bed. But when we say it in Japanese, we say it in literal sense, there is not anything on the bed. This is very, very important to understand the difference. So English and Japanese are different. The structure is different as far as this concept is concerned. So ie beddo no ue ni nani mo arimasen. No, there isn't anything on the bed, or no, there is nothing on the bed. Let's now move to the second example. Kyoshitsu. Kyoshitsu ni soto ni Kyoshitsu no soto ni dareka ga imasu ka? Now it's not arimasu, it's imasu because it is about a person. So kyoshitsu no soto. Kyoshitsu no soto means outside the classroom. Kyoshitsu no soto, outside of the classroom. Since it is a location, so the location marker ni particle will be used here. So kyoshitsu no soto ni dareka. Dareka means who. Ga, this is optional. Imaska, you can also say darika imaska. Kyoshitsu no soto ni dareka ga imaska. Is there someone outside the classroom? So dareka means someone. So is there someone outside the classroom, or is anyone outside the classroom? It's the same meaning. Is there anyone outside the classroom, or is there someone outside the classroom? If the answer is positive, then hai kyoshitsu no soto ni son-san ga imasu. Son-san ga imasu. That means yes, son-san is outside the classroom. And if there is no one outside the classroom, then how do we say that? Ie kyoshitsu no soto ni daremo imasen. Daremo imasen. There is no one. There is not anyone outside the classroom. Again, the same thing. Daremo means anyone and dareka means someone. So when we write it in the literal sense, is there someone outside the classroom? Kyoshitsu no soto ni dareka ga imasu ka? Kyoshitsu no soto ni son-san ga imasu. And in the negative sense, kyoshitsu no soto ni daremo imasen. The negative form of the verb imasu is imasen. So daremo imasen means there is no one. And if you write daremo imasu, then that does not make any sense in Japanese. Although in English that is still acceptable, but in Japanese this structure is not acceptable. With daremo you cannot write imasu because imasu is not the negative form. So keep this in mind that daremo, nanimo, donatamo, with all these words, the verb must be in its negative form. Then only it will make sense and it will mean nothing or no one. The third example, kyoshitsu ni donataka ga irashaimasu ka? So we had learned about the three verbs of existence, which are arimas, imas, and irashaimasu. So irashaimasu, if you remember, it's for a respectful, it's about the existence in a respectful manner. So if we are talking about a teacher, a sensei, then we can use irashaimasu or irashaimasu ka. So kyoshitsu ni, that means in the classroom. Donataka, who or someone. Donata is who in respectful manner. Donataka is someone in respectful manner. Donataka, ga is optional. Irashaimasu ka? So is there someone in the classroom, or is anyone in the classroom? Kyoshitsu ni donataka ga irashaimasu ka? Hai, kyoshitsu ni Ishikawa sensei ga irashaimasu. Yes, there is Ishikawa sensei in the classroom. So this is irashaimasu and also donata ka. It was used in the answer in the question, so it's a respectful manner. Yes, Ishikawa sensei is in the classroom. And if you want to say it in negative sense, then ie. Ie. Kyoshitsu ni donata mo irashai masen. Irashai masen. That means no, there is not anyone in the classroom. Or no, there is no one in the classroom. So again, donatamo means anyone and irashai masen means no one exists. So by combining these two, we get the meaning of no one. So in Japanese, it will be there is not anyone, and the actual meaning is there is no one. You can say it like that. So practice these concepts, friends, because it's little bit confusing. Not confusing for those who have studied it and practiced it. For the first timers, it is little bit confusing because when we study a new language, the current language, which may be English or any other native language, that keeps coming into our mind and we try to compare Japanese with that form, and there becomes there it comes with the clashes in our mind. So you have to keep your own language separate and just focus on how it goes in Japanese, what are the rules in Japanese grammar, and in that way you will be able to remember all these things. So practice, practice, and more practice, then only all these things will get embedded gradually on your mind. And don't push too hard yourself into this. Just consider it to be a game of learning and take it light and take it easy. So we had discussed about something and someone, and accordingly nothing and no one, or someone, anyone, anything, or anyone. Now the third one is somewhere and anywhere. So it also follows the similar structure but little different. It is doko ka ni, doko ka ni. So it's not doko ka. There is a ni attached to it. Why? Because it is talking about a location somewhere. So since it's a location, so the location marker ni is added here. Donataka ni. So dareka, dareka, donataka, and nanika, these do not have ni after the ka, but for somewhere, dokoka, we use dokoka ni. And similarly, doko nimo, doko nimo in for anywhere, doko nimo anywhere. So note that doko ni occurs after ka, but it occurs before mo. So what does that mean? So ni, here it comes after ka, doko ka ni, but here it is doko nimo. It's not doko mo ni. So going by the normal rule, it should have been doko mo ni, but it's not like that. Ni will come before mo, doko nimo. So ni is the location marker in both the cases. So that's the reason why this has been kept separate and it's not mixed with the previous one. So here you can see here nanika, nanimo, dareka, daremo, donataka, donatamo, and then we have dokokani and dokonimo. So now let's look at some examples using dokokani and dokonimo. So example 4 is dokokani nihongo no hon ga arimasu ka? Friends, before we move forward, I just want to let you know that this is written in hiragana, as you know, and for the beginners, it might be difficult to read these. So what people do, they use Romaji. Although it's uh, a good way to for the beginners to read Japanese, but it's better if you keep a hiragana and katakana chart along with you when you study, so that you can refer whenever you find difficult to read a character. In that way, you don't have to depend on Romaji, and your habit of learning the Japanese language will inculcate. Otherwise, you will keep writing Romaji, and it will be a very slow process to remember the alphabets. So as I am reading slowly, you can also read slowly and try to read in Japanese itself and not through the English transliteration. So read very slowly. Doko kani nihongo no hon ga arimasu ka? Dokokani, that means, dokokani means somewhere. Dokokani nihongo no hon, that means Japanese books. Nihongo no hon means Japanese book. Ga arimasu ka? Does it exist? That means, are there Japanese books somewhere? Somewhere? Are there Japanese books somewhere? Answer is hai. Toshokan ni nihongo no hon ga arimasu. Toshokan means library. Yes, there are Japanese books in the library. Toshokan ni nihongo no hon ga arimasu. So since Toshokan is a location, so it will be followed by the ni particle. Toshokan ni nihongo no hon ga arimasu. And if it doesn't exist, then ie doko ni mo arimasen. Doko ni mo arimasen. Doko ni mo means anywhere. Arimasen means there is not, there aren't. That means the literal meaning will be no, there are none anywhere. There are none anywhere, and the actual meaning is no, there aren't any Japanese books here. So again, it is written in a reverse manner using a negative verb. with a positive word anywhere, but in English we can directly write as nowhere. So in Japanese they write it, it's not there anywhere, and in English we write directly it's nowhere. So Ie dokonimo arimasen, in Japanese it means there are none anywhere. In English we can write there aren't any Japanese books here, or there aren't any here. So this is doko kani and doko nimo. This construction is very different from English, so literal translations result in ungrammatical or unnatural sentences. In order to make natural English translations, you need to supply some specific location. For example, are there any Japanese books somewhere on the campus? There aren't any on campus, just like that. So let's look at few more examples. Nihongo no hon wa, Nihongo no hon wa doko ni arimasu ka? That means where are the Japanese books? Nihongo no hon wa doko ni arimasu ka? Doko ni. The doko ni means, doko means where. And ni will be followed by doko will be followed by ni because of the location marker. So Nihongo no hon wa doko ni arimasu ka? Where are Japanese books, or where can I find Japanese books? The answer is Nihongo no hon wa tsukue no ue ni arimasu. Nihongo no hon wa tsukue no ue ni arimasu. The Japanese books are on the table. Nihongo no hon wa doko ni mo arimasen. That means Japanese books aren't anywhere, not on campus, in the library, or etc. That means they are nowhere to be found. Japanese books are nowhere present, or Japanese books aren't anywhere. If you simply translate directly this sentence, Nihongo no hon wa doko ni mo arimasen. Next is, where is Ishikawa sensei? Ishikawa sensei wa doko ni irashaimasu ka? So again, a respectful manner, so that's why irashaimasu ka. Ishikawa sensei wa doko ni irashaimasu ka? Answer is Ishikawa sensei is in the classroom. Ishikawa sensei wa gyoshitsu ni irashaimasu. Gyoshitsu means classroom. Ishikawa sensei is in the classroom. And if you want to say Ishikawa sensei isn't anywhere, that is, he is neither on the campus nor in the building or anywhere else, then it will be Ishikawa sensei wa doko ni mo irashaimasen. Irashaimasu, irashaimasen. It's the negative form. Doko ni mo means somewhere. Doko ni mo means anywhere. And doko ni mo with masen, it becomes nowhere. So doko kani, doko kani is somewhere. So that's why it's written here, doko kani. And doko nimo is anywhere. And anywhere with a negative verb becomes nowhere. So Ishikawa sensei is nowhere. Okay. So this is that meaning. Note that nani, dare, donata, doko. These are WH interrogative words. Now, what is WH interrogative words? That means what, who, where. So all these begin with WH interrogation. But nanika, dareka, donataka, doko kani, nanimo, daremo, donatamo, and doko nimo, these are not WH interrogation words. So what are these? This is something, someone, someone, somewhere. This is anything, anyone, anyone, anywhere. And these ones, the more ones when we write with negative verb, this becomes nothing, no one, no one, nowhere. So this is the summary of whatever we have discussed in this lecture so far. One more example. Tsukue no ue ni nani ga arimasu ka? Tsukue no ue ni nani ga. So nani ga, here it is a question. It's not nani ka. It's nani ga. It's nani. Nani means what. So what is on the desk? Tsukue no ue means on the desk. Ni nani ga arimasu ka? What exists? On the table, what exists? If you see the literal meaning, tsukue no ue ni nani ga arimasu ka? On the table, What exists? What's on the desk? Answer is tsukue no ue ni kaban ga arimasu. Kaban. Kaban means a bag or a briefcase. Tsukue no ue ni kaban ga arimasu. There is a briefcase on the desk. There is a bag on the desk. One more example. Tsukue no ue ni nani ka arimasu ka? Is there something on the desk? So look at the difference. It was tsukue no ue ni nani ga arimasu ka? It's the nani. But in the next example, it's nani ka. Tsukue no ue ni nani ka arimasu ka? Is there something on the desk? So nani ka is something and nani is what? Very, very important, and it's very, very easy to get confused because these appear together. Nani ga arimasu ka. Here ga is separate. It is used as a separate particle. But when we use nani ka, then it's optional. You can also use nani ka ga arimasu ka. That is okay. Tsukue no ue ni nani ka ga arimasu ka or tsukue no ue ni nani ka arimasu ka. If ga is not present here, that adds to the confusion because then it becomes quite similar with the previous one, that is nani ga arimasu ka. So that's why be very, very careful that you have to differentiate whether it is nani or nanika. So if it is nani, then the meaning is what? If it is nanika, then the meaning is something. Is there something on the desk? Tsukue no ue ni nani ga arimasu ka? Hai, tsukue no ue ni kaban ga arimasu. Yes, there is a briefcase on the desk. Ie, tsukue no ue ni nani mo arimasen. No, there isn't anything on the desk. No, there is nothing on the desk. So it's just like what we discussed just some time back. So that's all about something, anything, someone, anyone, somewhere, anywhere, and then nothing, no one, nowhere. Now we move on to the next topic of today's lecture, which is the particle to. This is to written in hiragana. And what does that indicate? So this is a kind of the and. So in English, the and interjection. So when you talk about two entities, X and Y, to is used. That means it gives the meaning of and. That means when more than two nouns are mentioned, to may be repeated after each item. So the difference with the English and is that we write and just before the final thing. That means A, comma B, comma C, comma D, and E. So and will be written simply once, and before that all will be separated using the commas. A, comma B, comma C, and D. But in Japanese, after each word, there will be a to. That means A to B to C to D in that way. So when you talk about two entities X and Y, to is used. When more than two nouns are mentioned, to may be repeated as in tsukue no ue ni pen to shashin to jisho ga arimasu. That means on the table there are pen, a photo, and a dictionary. That means there are pen, photo, and dictionary on the table. Tsukue no ue ni pen to shashin to jisho ga arimasu. To cannot be used when X and Y are not nouns. That means if they are adjectives, for example, if we want to say my shirt has is red and blue, then you cannot use X and Y. So I'm sorry. So red and white, those are again nouns. So there you can use, but if they are verbs, so in that case, you cannot use to. So there is something else for that. You will learn other expressions corresponding to the English and shortly. So it's not the entire thing. So it's only for nouns. That means noun one to noun two. So when you want to write several nouns in the same sentence, as we do using comma and in English, in Japanese, we do it using to. But there are certain exceptions which we will see in the coming lessons. The next is final particle yo. Why it is said final particle? Because whenever it is used, it comes at the end of the sentence. Yo is one of the sentence final particles that frequently appear in conversation. Yo can be added when you supply new information. And always remember friends that yo is used in informal conversations only. In formal language, yo is never used because it's kind of impolite, you can say. So let's look at this conversation. Miller and Son-san. So Mira, she says, Son-san. So see here, kono daigaku ni nihongo no toshokan ga arimasu ka? Kono daigaku ni nihongo no toshokan ga arimasu ka? That means, is there any library of Japanese books at this university? Nihongo no toshokan means Japanese library. So kono daigaku means this university. So kono daigaku no Kono daigaku ni nihongo no toshokan ga arimasu ka? That means, is there a Japanese library in at this university? Son-san, does this university have a special library for Japanese books? The meaning is that. Arimasu yo. Arimasu yo. Yes, there is. Yes, it does. So you see here, the yo particle is added after arimasu. So what happens if you do not use yo? Nothing happens, the meaning will still remain the same. So in this exchange, Son-san could have said arimasu without changing the meaning. But the use of yo adds more attentiveness to Mira-san. That means she is putting some kind of emphasis that yes, it does, because Miller is looking for something and Son-san realized that yes, she knows the answer and it is of much help to Miller, and that's why she put some emphasis by adding yo at the end. Arimasu. Yes, it does. So, although the literal meaning will not change of the sentence, but it will make the conversation interesting. So, that's why this is used frequently in informal communication, mostly with friends and family members, and it adds some spice in the language. So it's kind of beautification of the language. So on some occasions, yo may sound extremely assertive or imposing. That is, I tell you. Because such a subtle difference is context dependent, you are advised to use yo with great care. Pronounce yo with slightly rising intonation and never put stress on it. So if you put stress, then it will become little impolite. So arimasyo, just normal, but a little slight rising intonation. Arimasyo. So in this way you can use, but be careful not to use this in formal language and not with senior persons. And you should understand the context in which you are using that. So that was the yo particle. So friends, we will stop here, but before finishing this video, the next topic will be numbers. So we didn't discuss the number system. So for today, I'm just giving you the pronunciation of the first 10 numbers. So how do we say 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10 in Japanese? 1 is ichi. So these are the kanji symbols and which we will learn in the next lecture. So when we introduce kanji in the next chapter, then we will talk about these symbols. For today, just look at this hiragana. So 1 ichi, 2 ni, 3 san, 4 shi or yong, 5 go, 6 roku, 7 shichi or nana, 8 hachi, 9 ku or kyu, 10 ju, 11 is juichi, 12 is juni, jusang, jushi or juyong, jugo, juroku, jushichi or junana, juhachi, juku or jukyo, niju, nijuichi, and so on. So we will discuss about the rule of counting in Japanese in the next lesson, in the next video. And for now, just try to memorize the Japanese numbers from 1 to 10. That is ichi, ni, san, yong or shi, go, roku, shichi or nana, hachi, kyu, ju. And then we will continue in the next uh, lecture. So this is the status as of now. Lesson 3 grammar we are carrying out, and in the last lesson we did 3A, 3B, 3C. Today we did 3D, 3E and 3F, and just touched upon the 3G, and in the next lesson we will continue this 3G and some other topics of this chapter. So I hope you have understood what has been taught in today's lesson. If you have any doubts or any questions, please feel free to comment on this video or send an email to saraljapani@gmail.com and we shall clarify your doubts. So thank you for watching this video. Arigato gozaimasu. Mata imasho.